I'm a retired Navy, still work for the Navy. There's a lot of us, a lot more than the media is reporting for sure, that are not really willing just to give up our freedoms because of this mandate. And kind of my question is, and there's been a lot of discussion about it at work as well, is, most of us we know to plan for a crisis. So, I have an emergency fund of about $26,000. I'll still have my retirement pay, and because we're pretty much expecting to lose our jobs around December, early in December. But the question is it wise to take that emergency fund and kind of stock up against inflation, or would you just kind of leave that emergency fund there and wait a little bit?
I'd probably wait a little bit. So some of the things that have transpired in the last couple of days, and I was so grateful that I didn't do my conference call this week like I was planning on it. But so many of those, some of the events of the past couple of days, even the events of what happened internationally, I think are going to be very interesting to play out. I think it's going to take a little bit of pressure off of a number of things. And one of the things that I would submit that it's going to take some pressure off is it's going to take some pressure off the far left's support of their own agenda, at least until they get reelected one more time. And I think that they're going to be extremely concerned and careful about how they proceed right here and what support they give to this administration for their radical agenda. And I think that each day that passes between now and November of next year, there is going to be some thoughts about what is right and wrong with the radical positions. And it could have an impact, and it's going to have an impact. It could even have an impact on inflation. I would say to you right now, David, you might not think so, but I would say to you right now, I think I wouldn't be so quick. You may not lose your job. There is a lawsuit that you tell your friends and your coworkers to support Liberty Counsel, lc.org, even if it's $20. They're filing numerous suits against the Department of Defense. Are they going to win? Of course not. They're not. I think they could win if they went to court, but it's never going to get that far. Things are going to start to change and be and rethinking a little bit. So I don't know. I think that it is a little too early. I don't want anybody to do anything from a perspective, and it doesn't sound like you are doing that at all, but perspective of fear about what might happen. It doesn't sound like you're doing that, or you wouldn't have asked your question. But I think that you wait a little bit. I'm glad you're thinking about it, but I think you just hold off. There's going to be. I think we're going to get a little bit of a stay of execution, as it were, in the economy for a period. But we'll see how it goes. I would not be surprised if by the end of this month we see things moving through ports very unexpectedly. And let's just wait and see how that plays out. I may be wrong about that, but I think that is a possibility. If that happens, it's going to be a very telling sign of a good telling sign of we could see some things settle down. The other thing is, I think Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve, is going to be apt to raise interest rates. And I think it could even happen this year. Maybe that's more probably wishful thinking on my part. But just the cutting that is going to happen of the bond purchasing is going to be a good thing. But I think he's going to think about raising rates. And that'll be a good counter measure against inflation. So we'll wait and see. I don't think the oil industry is going to be in any hurry to increase production. So I don't foresee that happening this year. But yeah, I would hold off. I like what you're thinking. You're in a unique position. You have that money set aside. It's not going to go anywhere. I think we may see some inflation, but we also may see the dollar strengthening at the same time. And that's going to counteract some of that inflation, thereby cutting inflation a little bit. That's what happens when we see rates go up. So today, this morning, there's already been interest rates come down. The mortgage rates came down. That's a good sign as well. So let's just sit tight a little bit longer, David. Hey, remember to click the subscribe button right here on the screen. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when new content is added. And more importantly than anything, you don't want to miss all 3 live hours of Financial Issues every day from 9 to noon. And you can watch it on FISM.tv. That's FISM.tv.